You cannot continue to force your body and your brain to push through this stuff and to push yourself too hard. That's going to damage you more. What's up everyone? I am Ollie Rose for those of you who don't know, and let's just jump into today's topic, which is actually about autism burnout. That's great because I didn't really get ready today. I kept putting off filming this video because I'm tired. So we're just throwing the hair up and my shirt has cat hair on it and there's probably a bunch of cat hair behind me as well. I actually did not know that autism burnout was a thing until I saw a TikTok video about it. And since then, because the For You page was built up brick by brick by myself, a lot of content that I get is about autism and autism burnout in adults. When I was scrolling and one of those videos came up, it was talking about how the burnout was extreme fatigue. It was like fatigue, you know, doing everyday tasks was really hard and it was really exhausting. I am like perma-tired. This is a mix between like capitalism and the fact that the government just wants us to, you know, until we fucking die. And also like dealing with things like autism and ADHD and also being a parent. So dealing with autism burnout as a parent is really hard. I have to pack my kids' lunches every morning, you know, I have to get them up and get them ready. I mean, regular everyday parental things that I don't mind doing. Obviously it's my job, I don't mind doing it. But it's like the more I get into my days and into my weeks and the less time I have to like really fix that burnout, like the harder that these kinds of tasks get. So tasks for my kids always come first. Making sure my kids are set always comes first. I put myself on the back burner. I know that you cannot pour from an empty cup, but it's like I'm constantly trying to battle between like filling my cup and continuing to be, you know, a present parent, but also if you don't fill your cup, you can't be a present parent. And it's the worst balance. And if you're watching this hoping that I'm gonna be able to tell you how to fix it, I'm so sorry. This will not be that video, and I don't know if I will ever be able to make that video. One big misconception when it comes to autism burnout is that it's not burnout. You're just being lazy, you're faking it, you're lying, like you don't really care what you're doing. You can just snap out of it at the fucking drop of a dime. And that's just not true. These are like neurological and physical things that are happening to your body as a result from being overstimulated and overexhausted. There is so much sensory input going on every day. There is a complete lack of being able to recover from these things, you know, exhaustion and stress from being around people and being out in society and speaking to people. And, you know, even electronically speaking to people and connecting with people, it is exhausting. These are things that if you are autistic, you are more sensitive to, and you need to be able to recover from them. The problem is that like in this day and age, the way that we're all required to work and required to live, there is not an appropriate amount of time for you to fully get that recovery in. So this is why it's important to accommodate yourself in your everyday life, because ultimately when it comes to autism burnout, that can take weeks, months, years to like recover from. And I mean that literally. I don't mean that as like an over exaggeration. It is a big deal when you are dealing with autism burnout. This is not something you should be gaslighting yourself out of. You are not lazy. Your brain and your body are fucking tired. And I also want to say as well, and also want to note, when you are sitting there paralyzed because all you can think about is the lists of things that you need to get done, that when you think about it, you like cannot move, you get overwhelmed, you don't know where to start, you cannot function. Lazy people do not stress about those things. And I don't even like using that word. But like laziness is where you're like content with it. You're fine with it. Like you just want to chill, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the burnout and the stress, when you're dealing with that, you're not okay with just laying there. It's stressful to lay there because you know you have a list of tasks that you need to get done that you're just like putting aside because there's so much that you need to do and you're just so overwhelmed. It's just not something where you're gonna be able to fix this in one weekend of relaxing. Like a face mask is not going to fix this. And it really depends on like how long you've been going for. That's really gonna affect like how much time it's going to take to recover. And a lot of the time, so like for me, for instance, I didn't realize it was autism burnout. I'm 31. It wasn't until I hit like 30 that I was fully like, yes, I am autistic, and started learning about burnout and all of that stuff. I've been on fight or flight mode my whole life. I cannot imagine a time where I have not been in fight or flight. And that's through raising 3 kids too and moving. I'm 31. I have moved to 31 different places of like living in my life. I'm exhausted. And I don't know if I will ever recover from it. I feel like the older I get, the less I'm like able to easily do. Like I'm functioning. I think I'm a good parent. I'm getting shit done. My kids are really good, but it's like, it's getting hard. It's getting really hard to do basic tasks for myself, like brush my teeth, do my hair, eat. I'm not the best at taking care of myself because there's just so much to do and I'm just so tired. One thing with the burnout is that I would just tell myself constantly that I'm lazy prior to understanding what autism burnout was. You are lazy, you are making this up, like you've convinced yourself that you can't do this, like snap the fuck out of it, go touch grass, get over it, get your shit done. You can't do that. You cannot continue to force your body and your brain to push through this stuff and to push yourself too hard. That's going to damage you more. So again, this is why accommodating yourself is so important. It's important to set boundaries with people. Don't use extra energy to hang out with people if you have no interest in hanging out with people. Find ways to, if you can afford it, instead of leaving the house to grocery shop, maybe use something like Instacart that is not sponsored, or like do grocery pickups so you don't really have to interact with each other. Like find different things that you have to do and see if there is a way to be able to do it with less energy. Because accommodating yourself in these situations, because we cannot take weeks, months, years off of work generally, sometimes not even days, because it's so hard to be able to do that. It's so important to be able to find little loopholes to make it easier for yourself. And that's not a bad thing. That's not laziness. Accommodating yourself will help you in the long run. One big thing that I like to do is making sure that I have quiet time. So I get very overstimulated by my kids. I get very overstimulated being around my husband. I have 3 cats. Everybody's always wanting to sit on me or touch me or talk to me. I'm like, I can't handle that. So I have soundproof headphones that I use. I will sit, I will listen to music. I'm big on stimming. My big thing for stimming is bass. I love the sound of bass. I like to feel it. I wish that I had big subwoofers in my car because that would fix so much if I could just sit out there and like blast music, even though I know it's bad for my ears. But finding things like that, like me being able to sit with a weighted blanket with my headphones, or I'm not a bath person. I don't like sitting in baths. I love taking showers. So if I can sit in the shower and listen to music, I can't use my headphones in there, but listen to music and like other things that are stimmy for me is shaving my legs. I know if that doesn't make sense, I get it, but I like the feeling of soft skin. I like my skin when it's really soft. I love the feeling of scrubs. I love the feeling of like putting oil on my legs or oil on my body and lotion on my body. Taking time to be mindful and slow down during those moments so that you can just like ignore everything and focus on yourself, or just take a nap. I just think it's so important to be mindful of your body and self-care. And I know the toxic positivity behind self-care is absolutely irritating. Again, a face mask is not gonna fix this, but I think it's really important to be able to like ground yourself and sit with yourself and just really put thought into what you're doing for yourself. Another way to accommodate yourself would be like taking big tasks that you have. Like if you have loads and loads of laundry, break that down, break it down. You have 6 loads of laundry to do? No, you don't. 1 load a day. Just do, at least start 1 load a day. Just start 1 load a day. When it comes to meals, try and pick like lower energy meals to be able to consume for yourself. Most of my energy goes into feeding my kids and like making sure my kids are set up. For me, if I don't have time or like I need to get them sorted, so for breakfast in the morning, I will get up, I will take some orange juice, some vanilla Greek yogurt that's high in protein, some vanilla protein, and like some ice, and I just shake it up. I don't blend it. Blending takes too much work. I'm not trying to make myself clean a blender. And it tastes like an orange Julius, and it's got like 30 grams of protein in it. I will drink and consume that. It's really easy, it's low maintenance. That way I have energy to sort the kids out, and then whenever I have time or energy to sit down and like cook myself a meal, then I can. But at least this way you're still getting nutrients and you're still like helping your body and nourishing your body. If you can't do something fully, half-assing it ain't half-assing it. Like something is better than nothing. And that goes for everything. If your bathroom is dirty or messy and you need to clean it, you don't have to do the whole thing. Wipe down your toilet. Wipe down the toilet one day. Wipe down the sink another day. I fucking hate scrubbing the shower, so I usually save that for a completely different day. But you know what I mean? Like break everything down into smaller tasks. Accommodate yourself. Something is better than nothing. And you will feel better in a better environment. And I hate saying that. I hate saying that. That's like one of those things where you get advice and you're like, I don't want to fucking hear that right now. Like, I don't want that advice. I know that that's what this is. And I wouldn't want to hear it either. I don't like giving it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when it comes to autism burnout, like, this is not you failing. This is not where you've like gone wrong somewhere. This is just something that happens with autism, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. I know that I sound like the crazy uncle that hates the government, but I am the crazy uncle that hates the government. When it comes to autism burnout, there is systems in place made by the government where they just want us to work. They don't want us to have time for ourselves. They don't want us to be able to afford things. We'll see how the next presidency goes. But you know what I mean? Like, it's been set in place for us to be kept tired. And when you suffer from certain types of disabilities and like the outcomes of those disabilities, like autism burnout, it feels almost impossible to be able to get out of it. And that's not a fault of yours. That is not your fault. And I don't think that that will ever be your fault. This is a product. This is a consequence of the system that we live in and the world that we live in. And so we need to work together and help each other come up with different ways to be able to process and to be able to function and to be able to succeed. It's also important to ask for help. If you need help, it is okay to ask for help. Recovery takes time. I hate saying that too. I hate saying that time fixes things. Being mindful and giving yourself time is what is going to help you in the long run. Anyway, you guys, if you have any questions or comments, or you just want to talk to people in the comments, exchange tips and tricks on how you are managing your burnout, please go ahead. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or like topics that you would like for me to talk about, I would love to have a conversation about it. So have a good day, you guys.